All right, Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark International Youth Day with the theme Youth Engagement for Global Action, and it is apt as the world battles the COVID-19 pandemic, which has paralyzed world economy, including Nigeria, and claimed lives of over 1,000 people. Now, we do have joining us in the studio to talk about the theme and, of course, the position and place of youths in Nigeria and, of course, globally, with the president of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, Solomon Adodo. Good morning and good to have you join us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Good day, Nigerians.
And with him is Arthur Ugochukwu Okoro. He is the national president, Leaders of Today Global Youth Forum.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Gentlemen, it's good to have you join us in the studio. Let me begin with you, Solomon. When we talk about the challenges the youths are faced with across the world, they are enormous. We talk about youth restiveness, we talk about unemployment, we talk about the lack of capacity on the part of leaders worldwide, to take advantage, of that demography to develop, their countries. Particularly Africa. What is in your own appraisal is the modern challenge that youths are faced with in the society?
Okay, thank you very much. You've just spelled out all of these things. And what we at the National Youth Council know is that you've also stated very clearly that youth are faced with these challenges. And these challenges have propped up over time. So we are expected to face the challenges. What we should be doing now is that we should be able to synthesize solutions to these challenges.
Okay.
In Nigeria here, we are faced with the issues of unemployment. In Nigeria here, we also have the issues of poverty and underdevelopment that has been a striation from independence till now. It's aggravating, it's worsening. But we must find ways to halt this negative tide. And when we halt the negative tide, how can we now reverse the trend and then begin to build going forward, knowing that these challenges must come? So we should be prepared for the challenges. They are not alien. But what we have is that we have a situation where when the challenges come, all we do is to complain, is to lament, and is to blame this and blame that. We don't sit down to look at from where we are, what can we do? So the National Youth Council of Nigeria is looking at how we will halt this negative tide, how we will stop this advancing poverty, how we will halt the tide of unemployment, how we can reverse the trends, begin to create jobs, how we can begin to trigger rapid economic development, economic growth, how we can begin to solve the problems of insecurity. And we have some very fail-safe, foolproof strategies which we are working on. Today at our forum that we'll be holding later today, we are going to unveil all of this. And it will not just be words. Mm-hmm. We are activating the youth. The youth have potentials within them. They have been latent. They have lied fallow. Nobody is activating them. Like you rightly said, we need to take advantage of all of these things. And of course, adversity is something you should take advantage of. Challenges are something you should also look into. If you eviscerate properly, if you dig deep properly, you will discover that within these challenges, there are leap points where you can take rapid leaps and go forward. You understand? For instance, I'll talk about the COVID-19 pandemic. When we're talking about youth engagement, engaging the youth, you understand, presently. If you look at the COVID-19 pandemic, before the COVID-19, we didn't used to make hand sanitizers here in Nigeria. We imported them. We didn't used to do face masks and all of those things. But when the pandemic came, we were forced to begin to make hand sanitizers. So there are a lot of other things. And our jobs have been exported to Europe, to Asia, to China. Where was China 15, 20 years ago? In terms of the Chinese one, there are a lot of analogies. Okay. So the potentials are all around us. We will activate them and we'll push them to the front lines, create the jobs and create the world.
Now let's talk about youth involvement in crime. When you see, police parade criminals, oftentimes you see youths involved. A good number of the criminals being paraded by the Nigerian police are youths. Now, would you say that their involvement in criminal activities could be tied to the level of unemployment, or is it simply greed, or is it a Nigerian system, that encourages that to happen?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I would not say that the level of their involvement is as a result of greed. I attribute that to be the result of failure of leadership. That is what some of us, those of us that came together and leaders of Today Global Youth Forum would say, that the major challenge facing this nation is failure of leadership. And then how did we get about the failure of leadership? How did we get to this point? We get to this point at the process of electing the leaders. So we are leaders of Today Global Youth Forum are championing the same cause just as he is trying to say. But we are trying to tackle the problem from the beginning, from the stage of this process of electing these leaders. The youth has been dozed out, no doubt about it. There has been a time, there has been so many cases where the youth don't do what they are expected to do. We have been sleeping on the bicycle for a long time. And then today being the International Youth Day, we actually planned a program to put the youths on check, to put them to be at the edge of their seat, knowing that the world has moved on. They have left most of us behind, and we cannot continue to be docile at the time.
When you say the world has moved away, left most of us behind, I'm thinking about how do you mean? Can you explain that?
Yeah, because I mean,
at some point, we had the industrial age. The world has moved from that. Now we have AI, and it's now the knowledge age. So how are you taking advantage of that to equip themselves with the right skill set and mindset to be able to project their dreams and vision?
Yes, the youth, this is a call that we are trying to make on today. When I say the world has moved on, the youth of Nigeria, which is where we find ourselves in, must sit up to move on with the rest of the world. I will take, for instance, when we come to electing leaders, like I said before, that the challenge besetting our country is failure of leadership. And who contributes to the failure of leadership? The youth, majorly. I'll give you my reason. If we have, like Nigeria contains about 42.5% of Nigerian youth. If we have this 42.5% of Nigerian youth go out and register and go to cast their vote on the day of election, there may not be opportunity to rig in the wrong person. The process is very simple. If you go to a polling booth, you have 150 registered voters. And then the youth, majorly, the youth of our age, most of them, the female particularly, they sit at home pressing their Instagram.
Do they know what they want?
That is the problem. This is a clarion call for them.
I'm listening to you, and yes, I hear you that the youth need to participate more in the electioneering process and make their votes count.